So, Donald Trump has become the American president. What is going to happen to the American economy, the American people, and the world economy, and the people generally across the world is what we are going to be discussing in this video. Yes, I did think that Kamala Harris is going to win. Kamala Harris has got a beautiful horoscope, and probably her time is yet to come. Probably the American people were supposed to go through more troubles than I envisaged. So maybe that is the reason why Donald Trump has become the president. Now, as he has become the president, let's look at what are the planets are having in store for him. So the first question is, what are the astrological reasons for why Donald Trump become the president? If you look across the globe, you will see that the right-wing politics is on the rise. It can be India, Russia, China, Argentina, all across, you will see that all the politicians with the right-wing leaning, they are the ones who are winning the elections. So why is it so? Because the planet Pluto is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is all about me, my country, my roots, my tradition, my ancestry. So any politician who is harping on this slogan, okay, let me make my country great, let me bring my traditions great, let me make my country great again, all of those slogans are winning, not just in America but across the globe, simply because of Pluto and Capricorn. The second reason why Donald Trump became the president is because he was born in the year 1946. I don't know how many of you actually noticed this. Do you know that there were not just one or two, but three American presidents born in the same year, 1946? George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and then Donald Trump. And both those previous presidents have got two terms. Because why is it so? Because that year 1946 is extremely powerful. The four asteroids, Chiron, and then the three more bodies, the trans-Saturnine bodies which I call them as planet X, Y, and Z. All these four bodies were extremely powerful. They were exalted in that year. And the planet X was in Pisces. The planet X in Pisces gives extraordinarily huge success. And that is what it has given to the previous two presidents. And I sort of undermined it to give it again to Donald Trump, because Donald Trump has got so many other achievements. But then yes, I got fooled by the whole thing. And Donald Trump, the planet X gave even Donald Trump the second term. So before we look into what the planets hold for Donald Trump in the future, let's look at what the planets did to him in the past. In 2016, when Donald Trump became the president, the planet X was transiting his 10th house. 10th house is the house of career, and the most important planet of his horoscope. When it was posited in the 10th house of career, that is when he reached the highest position. If you know, he was born on a full moon day. His sun is also in the 10th house of career. So this is a fantastic moment. Planet X, strongest planet, reaching the 10th house, making him a president. So that made him a president. But at the same time, in his horoscope, if you look into Donald Trump's chart, he has three planets debilitated: Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And all those three planets has given him various challenges during that tenure. He had his Uranus debilitated in the 9th house. It is the 7th lord in the 9th house. 7th house means the law. 9th house means again legal formalities. So the 7th lord debilitated in the 9th house has given him various legal troubles. We all know that he was the first American president to be impeached, and not just once but twice. So during the entire tenure, Uranus being debilitated gave him the legal troubles. The other planetary position which was weaker at that point of time was Neptune. Neptune, the 8th lord, was debilitated in the 7th house. 8th house means challenges, problems, troubles. It can even mean killings, deaths. And that planet was debilitated in the 7th house. 7th house means people, the public. So we know that there were many blacks who were killed during that time. And the public fury was something that we saw. So, which was a very sad thing that happened, and that happened because of the 8th house transit of the Neptune in the 7th house of Donald Trump's chart. See, why are we discussing the planetary positions of Donald Trump? Because he's the national leader. It can be Modi for India, or it can be Jinping for China. So their horoscopes, the planetary transits which is happening on the national leader's horoscope, indicates what is happening in the country. So that is the reason we are looking into the horoscope, the planetary transits on the horoscope of Mr. Trump. Finally, the last planet which was weaker in the horoscope of Mr. Donald Trump in 2020, his tenure was from 2016 to 20, and that was I mean, we don't forget the fact that during Donald Trump's time was the time when one of the greatest miseries that we have, had during our times, and that is the pandemic happened in 2020. The planet Pluto, the fourth house means the land, the people, and that planet went into sixth house. Sixth house indicates a lot of other factors, but one of the important factor is health. So public and health, Pluto, the most powerful planet, going into the sixth house of health, resulted into people going through one misery, and that was the pandemic. So this is what was the thing that happened during the last time. Yes, he has done a lot of things. He has done a lot of positive things also, but I'm talking about the challenges that happened during the times of Donald Trump in the previous tenure. Let's look at what is going to happen in this tenure. So this time around we are seeing two major planetary transits, very positive planetary transits into the horoscope of Donald Trump. The first one is the planet X that we have been talking about. The planet X is a very, very important body. This planet got exalted into his 11th house. 11th house is the house of the later part of life, success as you keep growing older. Okay, now this is a very important factor. He's old, he's 78 years old, and at that point of time he has become the one of the biggest positions in the world he's occupying. So that comes because of the planet X getting exalted into his 11th house. Now, there is another very positive planetary transit that is happening in Mr. Trump's chart, and that is Chiron. Chiron is his 12th lord, and that is getting exalted in the 9th house. 12th house means foreign countries, 9th house is international, and when you have a positive transit of the 9th and the 12th house, there is something which can happen internationally which can be positive. So what it can mean is Mr. Trump will have a lot of positive impact with people, his relationship with people. He already calls Modi his friend, Netanyahu is his friend. So Jinping, we don't know, okay, he may call something, but what is going to happen during the policies is something that we'll have to see. But yes, his relationship with people across the globe, with leaders, especially the leaders across the globe, will only improve, and relationships can only get better. So that is another positive thing that we're looking into. So these are two very important positives that we're looking into the transits of Mr. Trump. Now, let's look at the challenges, the major challenging planetary positions during the tenure of Mr. Trump. The planet Uranus, his 7th lord, is going to get debilitated in the 10th house of career. Now, in 2025, after May, Uranus, the 7th lord, 7th house means the legal, and also it means public, and that planet is going to get debilitated in the 10th house of career for Mr. Trump. So what does it indicate? So there can be, the legal troubles may not stop. So which means there are some past events which has happened in Mr. Trump's chart, Trump's life, which will probably result into certain legal challenges, legal troubles. So some of the legal troubles will come back to haunt him, and in the next 4 or 5 years, because Uranus is going to stay throughout the tenure, and so which means in the next 4 or 5 years, some irritants, some challenges connected to the legalities can happen. And when you have the 7th lord debilitated in the 10th house of career, you are not even ruling out the possibility of another impeachment happening. That Mr. Trump has this capacity to go against the law. I mean, there are so many things that he has done in the past which we know that, which can be for or against the law, and he can sort of do certain things in and around the law, okay, which can result into certain challenges. So legal troubles, legal challenges is something which I'm not ruling out. So that's a very important thing that's going to be part of his life. The 7th house also connects to the public, the people. So when you have the 7th lord, for a politician, the 7th house is extremely important. It also indicates political enemies. So when you have the 7th lord becoming debilitated, it means that you are actually antagonizing the people. You are doing certain activities. So Mr. Trump may end up doing certain things which the public may not like. There can be a huge political uproar against him. The politicians against him may gain more power because he is doing certain things which is not liked by the public, which the other politicians can raise, right? So yes, there can be even some huge backlash to some of the policies which Mr. Trump may implement. Looking at another major planetary transit, that is Neptune. Neptune is deeply debilitated this time into the 8th house. The 8th lord coming into the 8th house for Mr. Trump Okay, now that is a phenomenal trouble. Eighth house is the most troublesome house that you can ever think of. Eighth house means, first of all, other people's money. Eighth house indicates debts, loans. Eighth house indicates even death. Okay, or huge challenges, upheavals, uproars. See, understand that all the three major bodies, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all three of them are debilitated in Mr. Donald Trump's chart. So, which means these planetary transits are going to give real, and they are the, why I'm talking about Uranus, Neptune and Pluto is that they are the most powerful planets in the universe. So, when the most powerful planets are going to be deeply debilitated, they are going to create events of higher magnitude, which can impact people. So, if I'm going to talk about the eighth house, first of all, indicates other people's money. So, other people's money means what? Mr. Trump is managing other people, which means the American public's money. He is like the CEO of the United States of America. So, he's going to implement certain policies, financial policies, which can impact the country. Okay, now, first of all, I'm not an economist. I'm an ex-banker. So, I've been in banking for, 15 plus years. But economics is a deeper subject which I am not aware of. Okay, I can probably talk about what the economists say. Many economists are saying that the America is deeply into debt. So we're talking about the debt is more than even 100% of the GDP of the United States, which is huge. We're talking about, and Mr. Trump also loves this one word, which is tariff. Right? He loves to impose taxes on everything that is coming into US. In fact, he has said very clearly that he's going to impose a huge tax if it is going to come from Mexico and other countries which it doesn't like. China is definitely on the radar. So all of these things are connected to the eighth house. Eighth house means other people's money. Other people's money means taxes. So let's say that Mr. Trump is going to decide to reduce the tax burden on the normal general American public. It is one of the main agenda on which the American public has voted him, right? So now let's say that he reduces taxes. So the taxes are reduced for the American public, which means people are relieved of the taxes. But how is he going to make money? He's going to make money by imposing taxes on the corporations, on imports. So what is going to happen? What do you think? Is the entire world going to play according to what Mr. Trump wants them to play? Maybe not. So they will revolt. There would be trade wars. So basically, the money part, the entire economy part is going to be in deep trouble. So we're talking about bringing in more money to the economy, Indian American economy, bringing in more jobs to the American economy. That is fine, but then at what cost is going to be the question. And probably the American public, the American economy will have to pay a huge price for that. So people are talking about fiscal deficits. People are talking about economic burden, which can even lead to recession. People are talking about deflation. People are stagflation. There are so many things, so many words which I'm not an expert to comment on, but all of these things are a possibility in the next 4 years. Now that is really, really worrying. The last factor I'm going to talk about, the last planet, which is a very important planet, and that planet is Pluto. Pluto is the most important planet in the universe, and Pluto currently is going to make, in 2025, is going to make a major transit, and the transit is called as, it is going to go into an avatar which is called as the Grey Lizard avatar. Now this is a very, very scary kind of a phase. To give you an example, the First World War happened during 1914 to 18, and that was exactly the time when planet Pluto went into the Grey Lizard avatar. And the next Grey Lizard avatar happened in the late 1930s and the early 40s, and that is exactly when the World War II happened. If I'm going to talk about the recent times, the last time when the Grey Lizard happened was during 2008 to 11-12, and you know what happened during the time, right? Economic recession. So unfortunately, during the tenure of Mr. Trump, the Grey Lizard is going to happen. The planet Pluto is going to go into the Grey Lizard avatar. So if you're going to look into the chart of Mr. Trump, we'll get to know as to what are those areas which can be impacted because of this Grey Lizard transit of Pluto. So Pluto is the fourth lord for Donald Trump, the fourth lord transiting into the sixth house. So the fourth and the sixth house will be impacted. Fourth house means what? Fourth house means the country, the people. Sixth house means a lot of things. We're going to discuss both of them. So first thing that will be impacted is the people, the country. So fourth house indicates real estate, land, property, food, agriculture. So it can be a lot of trouble for normal people, something to do with food can be impacted. So how can it impact? So maybe agriculture, maybe something to do with import or export, which can impact the agriculture of the America, which can actually lead to some sort of a food crisis. There can also be certain things which is connected with real estate, some sort of a policies of Mr. Trump, which can be connected to real estate, which can backfire. So, the American people voted for Donald Trump because of one of the reason was the increasing prices of real estate and, unaffordability to rent or live in places. So maybe to undo that, Mr. Trump can do certain things, but then probably that can backfire. So land, property, food, agriculture, all of these things. And he's also not someone who's very pro technology. So we don't know if the vehicles, because the fourth house also rules the vehicles, So all people who are manufacturing vehicles, importing vehicles, will that sector be impacted? Probably, I don't know. Even that is a possibility. Let's now look at the sixth house. Now, sixth house is like a very, very critical house. Sixth house indicates, first of all, everything to do with manufacturing, engineering, production, labor. Now, this is an entire sector, group of sector where probably the immigrants play a big role. And Mr. Trump has said that, we are going to stop the immigrants. Okay, that's fine. Illegal immigrants, yes. But then many of these sectors probably could also be outsourced from various parts of the world. If Mr. Trump decides that yes, we are not going to have this done, or probably within the sector, maybe we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the manufacturing, if you're going to stop China from giving you goods, so there can be some sort of a thing, which can be happening. If you're smart people who are watching the video, you can do the calculations. Manufacturing, engineering, production, labor is going to be impacted in some way. So this entire, we're looking at the entire industry. Industries connected to these areas can be impacted, and that can put a huge stress on the people of America. And finally, I'm going to talk about something very, very important, and that is 2020 was the year when planet Pluto, the fourth lord of Donald Trump, went into the sixth house. Fourth house means the people, the general public, and sixth house means one of the important thing is health. Now this time around, the planet Pluto is going to go into the grey lizard avatar, which is extremely, extremely distressing. It's not a very good thing. And if that is going to be the case, some of the things that can happen, and one of the major trauma which can happen, probably could be even in the area of health. So the health sector can be impacted, or I wouldn't be even surprised if something similar to what happened in 2020 can be replicated. So I won't even rule out the possibility of maybe not a pandemic, but then something similar, something which can be, we're talking about monkeypox, we're talking about so many such diseases. See, whatever is going to happen, the sixth house is health, and if something like that happens, it can even be bigger in magnitude compared to what happened during the 2020 pandemic, because this is a negative transit of Pluto. That was a positive one, so which means whatever the pandemic happened, but there were various shifts in the industries and so many positive things happened later. But then this may not be necessarily positive, so which is a very, very scary thought. So how long will this grey lizard patch last? It is going to start somewhere in 2025 and it will go on till 2028-29. So almost till the end of the tenure of Mr. Trump. And most of the time, grey lizard really impacts the economy very, very badly. Recession, we are looking at, 8th house also impacted, 6th house is also impacted. 8th house indicates money, finance, 6th house indicates industries, health. See, sometimes also the person, we are also looking at Mr. Donald Trump also as an individual. So on his horoscope also we are looking at these two planets playing out. So sometimes, even the person goes through challenges, which means he can go through physical issues, he can go through financial troubles himself, maybe not, but yeah, health issues, health concerns, all of those things can also happen. But if I'm going to talk, I'm sitting in India and you are, if you're sitting in America and if you're watching this video, it should worry you. Okay, and also for me who is sitting in India here, for me also this is a very worrying factor, because whatever happens in American economy, it really rubs off on all the economies around the world, and India definitely it's going to impact. I'm not really worried about anything else, but then I'm worried about the stock markets. because if there is going to be stagflation, if there is going to be, if America is going to go through some sort of an economic crisis, it is not good for the stock markets. And I'm an investor, and during the last grey lizard patch in 2008, when the economic recession happened, the impact stayed till almost till 2012. I mean, you can say whatever, it came back, it bounced back, so many that the economy was injected artificially with so many measures to ensure that it was back on track. You can do all of those things, but then the stock markets and the possibility of making money goes down. So that is my worry. Okay. Yes, if you are one of those people who are worrying how to tide over such kind of a situation, yes, even during an economic crisis, there would be certain industries which will do well. There are certain opportunities which you can maximize. There are certain things, if you are living in a particular country, if you look into that country's the national leaders charts, you can know as to which are those areas where you can maximize. So I'm going to do some videos on India for all people who are watching from India. I'm going to look at the same thing. I'm going to look at from the perspective of Indians and from Mr. Narendra Modi's horoscope, and we're going to talk about how it can impact us. And for all people who actually want to know more and understand this and implement this in their own way, you can of course do my course on financial astrology. You'll know exactly how things manifest and which are those industries to focus on even during this kind of a crisis. Finally, I want to say something. Please understand that I'm not blaming Donald Trump for any of the troubles that are going to happen. It's not because of him. Okay, he's not to be blamed. The point is, the planets change. They have their own. There is a grand plan in the universe, and the world goes through certain changes, which it is supposed to anyways go through. And the people, the players, they are the ones who become the central figures in ensuring that these changes happen. So the world was anyways going to go through a grey lizard patch. The world was anyways supposed to go through this economic trouble, or maybe the health issues or whatever is going to happen around the world, which we've talked about. And Mr. Trump is only an instrument in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so probably I thought that I was envisaging something like this to happen, and that is the reason I thought that maybe if Kamala Harris comes, the impact would have been much more lesser, because she has very powerful Neptune and Pluto. But unfortunately, it is not the case, and we have Mr. Trump. And Mr. Trump, see, what also happens is that the personality of the person, Mr. Trump, right? He has certain value systems. He thinks certain things in a certain way. So his entire personality will play out, and in the grand scheme of things, whatever is supposed to happen, this sort of a thing was supposed to happen to America, and it was also supposed to rub off on the entire world economy. So it was all supposed to happen. Mr. Donald Trump is only a player in the entire grand scheme of things in this world. There is someone else who is managing the show. We're all puppets in the whole grand scheme of things. So please do keep watching my channel, so that whenever I post such videos on finance, sports, and all the other interesting events happening across the globe, you'll be one of the first people to be notified. Thank you for watching.